I'm Vardha Sharma, Editor-in-Chief, Screen News, an online publication that showcases women-led initiatives from across the globe. Today, on the occasion of World Autism Day, which is being celebrated today, Screen News is making a feeble attempt to spread awareness on autism. We have with us Dr. Anjana Thadani, who is developmental pediatrician and also director of Nirame Hospitals, Mumbai, Navi Mumbai. Welcome, doctor.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. First of all, doctor, we would like to know, since it is today is World Autism Day, what exactly is autism, and is there any difference between autism and autism spectrum?
See, autism is a neurodevelopmental disability, and there's not autism is the loosely used term, while autism spectrum disorder is the technical term, because children with autism present in many different ways. Hence, it is called as a spectrum disorder. That's why it is mainly.
So, what are the basic characteristics that can be seen, which differentiates a person and makes us feel that this child or adult is going through autism?
See, the biggest problem which we see, or the presenting complaint, would be that the child is not having difficulty with the speech and communication and social interaction.
Okay.
So these are the three main domains.
Social interaction, like
Social interaction is the child is not able to give a good eye contact.
Okay.
Child does not know how to play with the with his own age people. Child is finds it difficult to communicate his needs to others, and involves in solitary play. So the child will just keep sitting alone and playing repetitively with the same thing. So he does not know how to communicate, how to interact with people. If he sees people in the house, the child will just run away, will not initiate any contact. So that is what would happen.
Yeah.
You could see these children usually would be completely normal till 1 year of age.
Okay.
So most of them rather. So what happens is they suddenly start showing withdrawal from, so they are looking at people, they are smiling, they are doing some gestures, and or they have learned some language and then they forget that language. So there is some amount of regression both in the language and the social skills. So this is typically how these children will present, and they present somewhere between 1 year to 3 years.
I see.
And that's why the parents are suddenly very concerned, and they most of the times they just don't understand what went wrong with the child suddenly.
Okay, and so as you said, the early diagnosis, the first, because usually the parents are the first one who can really see. So whenever they see any change with regards to social behavior, so this is the time that they should go and consult a doctor, or how to go about it?
You can catch them early. The more you catch them early, the earliest, the symptoms, the better is the prognosis. You can really work on the children. I've had children as early as now 17 months, 15 months.
Okay.
The mother's only concern in one of the cases was that when I go out, I leave my child doesn't cry. So he doesn't connect or see me as his mother.
I see. Okay.
So that was the only concern, and the child had, in fact, that child had a relatively good eye contact. So he would look at people, but he wouldn't understand the language, he wouldn't understand the social communication and interaction. He wouldn't understand that's my mother, and if she's leaving me and going, it's a cause of concern.
I see. So every child will have different sort of behavior, or is it almost the same symptoms in every?
See, most of the smaller children will present with their delayed speech.
Okay.
They would have repetitive speech. They have poor eye contact. They may not respond to their name. They don't follow instructions or understand the language. Since they don't understand the language, they don't follow instructions.
I see.
And then they would have a whole set of behaviors. And that could be repetitive behavior. The commonest is hand flapping behavior. So they may just continue hand flapping. When excited, they may do something like that. Jumping behavior, spinning behavior. They may just keep looking at their fingers and keep following them, So they could do. So these are the motor stereotypies. They may keep repeating the same words and phrases. So that is what we call echolalia. They may have pronoun reversals, wherein what they would say is, instead of saying Aryan I want this, he would say Aryan wants this.
Okay.
And fixated routines. So they don't change their routines.
I see.
and they may have a heightened interest with some objects, like it's very obsessed by rotating objects. So instead of playing with the car like they playing in the usual manner, they may turn the car around and they keep playing with the rotating wheels.
I see. Okay.
So, and a lot of sensory behavior. So behaviors plus problem in communication is what is the autism spectrum.
Alright. And what causes autism? Is there any particular thing that may trigger or may cause autism?
There is no specific cause. In fact, most of the children, everything else has been going normal till 1 year of age, and suddenly the child starts showing withdrawal symptoms, and starts retracting or regressing on these areas. Sometimes we may see some high risk children, who've had some birth problems or antenatal problems. That's one area. Family history could be positive in some cases, and at times I've seen twins, both of them have autism. So that the autism could be a part of multiple disability syndrome or certain genetic conditions. For example, Fragile X, it could have autism, or Turner's could have autism. So a lot of other conditions could have autism as well. But sadly, in most of the cases, we don't find the cause. So that again, most of the parents have this common question and they keep wondering why this happened to my child.
Right. There are certain beliefs that there is a risk, there is a relation between vaccines and autism. Is it true or is it a myth?
It's definitely a myth. You know why? Because I told you the presentation is around 15 months to 18 months. That's the time typically the child is vaccinated for MMR. So most of the parents, since nobody really understood why it is happening to my child, they attributed it to the vaccine.
Right.
Because something, something people are looking forward to a cause, right? When they're not sure. So a lot of research, but it's proven beyond doubt that vaccine and autism does not have any relation, and the autistic children have to be vaccinated as per the schedule.
I see. So there is no relation.
Absolutely, and that's one big myth which needs to be
busted. There are certain queries, and there are certain. People do feel that is there a correlation between vaccines, and so that's a myth, as Dr. Anjana has told us, that we should ignore all this myths. And when exactly we need to see a doctor when whether it is like when any parent sees this particular signs, we need to go to a doctor, or when exactly should we consult the doctor?
See, I feel anytime, I feel the parental concern is paramount. If the parent feels there's something wrong with my child, sometimes as pediatricians or as other healthcare professionals, we may not see the symptoms, but I think parental concern is very important, because a mother feels that there's something amiss with the way my child is behaving in the house. And quite a few times, that's the time we catch them very early and we start working with the children. But anytime the mother feels or there is any of the symptoms, it's better to check, it's better to, further screen and do the diagnosis if required, because early intervention can do wonders with autism.
And what exactly is early intervention that the doctors usually would tell the parents to do?
See, the early intervention, first step is screening, doing a proper diagnosis which tells us is it present, is it not present, because it's a whole spectrum, no? We have to be very sure. Second thing is finding out the severity of the problem, because based on the severity we know what is going to be the future. So it's relatively easy to predict. So parents also know what are they looking forward to, or what are going to be the roadblocks, how far we are going to go, all of that. After that, which is the therapy. Usually conventional therapy would mean doing a speech therapy with a professional who has experience with autistic kids. Occupational therapy. Most of the children do not have any physical issues, as in the delay in the motor area. So physical therapy if required in few cases, but most of the times no. So occupational therapy, speech therapy, behavior modification, because certain behaviors, those fixated behaviors, those hand clapping behaviors. So behavior modification therapy also becomes very important. Parental counseling, and as these children grow, they'll require special educators and support at school.
All of that. All right. And is there any health, I mean, dietary needs that needs to be fulfilled, or they can have the regular food, or?
By and large, they could have the regular food minus the very high sugar loaded food and chocolates and processed food. And see, but that's like something which we say no for most of the children.
Yes,
that is something. Besides this GFC of that, there are a lot of things wherein you take out the gluten, you take out the casein, that is the milk and the wheats. But I personally don't see much of that role in the practice.
Okay, and what about academically? Will it be, I mean, they can go, as you said, they would need special educators. So how they can go to normal school and?
See, that depends on if you have a high functional autistic child or you have a low functional autistic child. Sometimes it is difficult to do a IQ, especially in the non-verbal cases. So then if they are very severe cases and non-verbal autistics, then they can't work or study in a regular school. But I have seen autistic children who have done BCom, who have done BA psychology, who have gone to ICC and CBSE schools. And so I mean, it could be anything. So hence severity and early intervention is very there are like two factors to determine how the education will go.
I see. And any difficulties or patterns of behavior?
As in?
Is there any difficulty that the child shows or the parents need to see, or they feel that these things we need to really take care of?
See, what is very important we have to understand is that difficulty will change as the child is growing.
Okay.
So earlier you will definitely have issues with language, behaviors, but as they grow, and if with good intervention all this seems to settle down. But the moment too much of academic pressure, or as soon as they become pre-adolescent and adolescent, again then the behaviors change.
I see.
So they require, and again into adulthood they require a lot of support. Most of them can, if they're high functioning, they can do education, they can get into a vocation, and they are usually independent. However, the certain tendencies of poor social interaction and all would stay, but they are much more functional. So they are not going to have too many friends or something like that, but they'll have a few friends. They are able to manage their affairs in the society. So that's what is required. They're productive citizens of the country, of the society.